Thanks for taking the time for us. Hey, I didn't know you play golf.
Oh, I got a lot.
You play?
Hell yeah.
Me too.
Real?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right about that. I can promise you that.
Okay, and then this. Maybe put this to your belt in the backside. Xin chào mọi người, hiện giờ mình đang ở nhà. Tháng 5 là cái tháng đặc biệt gọi là Asian Month, là cái tháng của người Á Châu chúng ta. Vì vậy mình đã có một cái đài chính thống của Mỹ, Channel 11 tới để làm cuộc phỏng vấn nhỏ nhỏ về mình, về lịch sử của mình cũng như là công việc, cũng rất là vui. Thì tụi mình quay ở nhà, đây là sau nhà mình khoảng vài phút, rồi sau đó sẽ lên tiệm. Thì sẵn cái tháng gọi là tháng của người Á Châu, cho nên đặng chúc tất cả những người Việt Nam của chúng ta nói riêng cũng như người Á Châu nói chung thật nhiều thành công, may mắn và thành công hơn nữa trên đất nước Hoa Kỳ. Chào mọi người.
Johnny Dang, known as a jeweler to the stars, the king of bling, but this whole story started many years ago with much more humble beginnings, isn't that right?
Right, definitely, yeah.
Tell me about growing up in Vietnam. What was that like?
Man, I remember for life how I grew up in Vietnam. I was born in 1973. Vietnam was finished 1975. So 2 years, I was 2 years old. By the time from 1975 to 85, by that time, I grew up with like no power, no electricity, no waters in the hood, like a mud, for real. So it's fun, but that's the time that I remember forever, you know.
No electricity in Vietnam?
Yeah, by that time, like no electricity at all. So the whole my childhood, whenever, you know, we just grow with the sun, no power, of course. So whenever it's dark, the whole village is super dark, and of course the water. We have to use the water on the river. And few years later, maybe about 81, so we can be able to get the well, you know. But by that time, we use the river waters most of the time.
So times were tough back then.
It's real tough, yeah. Not only for my families, for all Vietnamese, you know, for my whole village, especially. Because I'm from the south of Vietnam, a very small village, they call Ban Meto, like that, like real small. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And I mean, people would be, I think, shocked to hear that, knowing where you are today. But this story, the reason you were able to come to the U.S. starts with your dad, isn't that right?
Right. With my families.
So your dad came over here on a boat in what year, and what was that journey like for him?
It was very tough for my dad. My dad, he was a soldier of South Vietnam. So after the war, they put him in prison. So as I know, when he was in prison without a release date, of course, even my mom did not know when my dad could be able to release, you know. And he escaped the prison and go to the U.S. by the boat. But it was tough because he told me story just like my oldest brothers. He did the same. And because they got a small boat and with so many people. So the second day, they ran out of food the second day. And the engine, the engine dead, no oil. or gas, whatever they use. So they just flow it. They just flow on the ocean for like 2 weeks. So luckily they got rescued by one of the big ship, you know, and that's how he told me very clear story that most of the people on the boat almost died because they didn't have food in 2 weeks. So it's tough, you know what I'm saying? So they survive by catching fish in the ocean, you know, and then just laid out at nighttime, wait for the rain. It's crazy stories. So the stories of me living in Vietnam in tough condition is really nothing to compare with how my dad, my uncle, my oldest brothers escaped it.
Wow.
You know, to come here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know that your father was in the jewelry repair business, right? Or
Right.
he was in the jewelry business.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how he came into that and then how you came into the jewelry business.
We have a little bit family background in jewelry because before 1975, my father's family was in jewelry business. So when he came here, he didn't know how to make jewelry, but he got an idea. So he opened a small jewelry shop in flea market. And we back then, when he came to Vietnam, visit us, you know, about 85, 90. So he just let us know like, hey, if you have a time, go learn how to make jewelry because I might be able to make jewelry in America, you know. So I learned how to make jewelry in Vietnam, but in Asian style, Vietnamese style, it nothing compared with how we make jewelry in Americans. And he could not do well, and he closed it down a few years after he opened, you know.
And that was in Vietnam, but then when he came to Houston, right, he
Right.
opened a shop.
No, he opened a shop here,
Okay.
and he could not do well.
Okay.
I think he's closed down. He didn't tell me what years, but when we came here, he didn't have a store no more.
So what made you decide that you would be able to do it?
It's just like the first day I came, it was also tough because we was in Vietnam. We thinking, oh, American dream, right? Of course, it's American dream. Everything crazy, real good out here. So my first thing to come and say, we have 3 families, 15 people stay in one house in America.
Here in Houston.
In Houston.
Where was that in Houston?
Right here on Bel Air and Pearl Park. It's real 5 minutes from here now. So it's kind of tough. But we are so happy to gather together. And then the second day, my cousin have a store in flea market. So he say, hey, if you feel boring, let's go. Happy to just go have fun with me because he on the way to work. I say, hell yeah, let me go help you because I learned how to make jewelry in Vietnam. That's how I started. So I went with him, and I stayed with him for 6 months. He gave me $500. I was so happy because that's my first $500 I ever made in my life when I was 23. You know, in Vietnam, I convert the Vietnamese dong. It's a big amount of money. Because when I was in Vietnam, if I went to learn how to make jewelry, I had to pay the jewelers. So in here, I went to learn how to make jewelry, and I got money. And then plus he paid me for lunch and and food when I went to learn it. So it's a big deal to me. I was so happy for that first, and after that I know how to make it, and he started giving me my salary, Wow. And then we started with like $35 a day. It's cool.
So 23 when you made your first $500.
My first $500.
And that's also when you came over to the U.S. You were 23 or 22? Somewhere?
23.
Okay.
Yeah, I came here August 96.
Okay.
So it was like 23.
And how long after that before you opened your own shop in the flea market?
I got the luck You know, honestly, just 2 years after, actually 1.5 years after, and I don't remember exactly the date, but when he got two shops in the two different flea markets, one is called King Flea Market, one is KHOU, and then he couldn't handle two shops at the same time. So he told me, hey, if you want it, I can sell to you the second shop about 25,000. He talked about a jewelry shop, but it's like one showcase, the bar on the back, just like the jewelry repair place. The reason he sold to me because they limit the jewelry repair shop in flea market. I couldn't open my own, but I didn't have money, so I say, okay, you pay me later, 25,000, but he paid me monthly. So I say, oh, okay, cool. I did that, and then I moved to the flea market, and they started to repair. But you know, I love to do the jewelries. So when I do repair, I kind of like people. Let's say they just want to solder the necklace, put two necklaces together, like a broken necklace. I solder. I clean the necklace like brand new. I love to do that, and charge like $5. Oh man, I make it so good. The line like every day, easy. And then I asked my mom, my father came and helped me, because original I repair myself and get the customer, but now I'm so busy sit down repair. So my father, my mom, is happy to take order and I repair.
Wow.
And then the weekend, my brothers Kevin, Dan, and Jimmy, on the weekend, because that time they work at the groceries, and then they went to Texas A&M. They studied college there. So Saturday, Sunday, they came back home and they helped me. They jeweler too.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother's good jewelers.
So where was that flea market you started out with originally?
They call KHOU Flea Market in 45.
Still exists?
Close to the, I think I never checked in there, close to the airport. They still there, a big flea market.
Wow.
It's very crowded.
So then you ended up meeting Paul in what year? Do you remember what year it was?
Let me see. About 2000, 2002. Because when I work in flea market, I have so much repair. But flea market open from Friday to Sunday. Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Friday to Sunday. So from Monday to Thursdays, I bring the job home and set up in the garage to do repair. You know, because to get repair, to do extra work. So the weekend, I can, because a lot of job I couldn't repair in there. And since I opened in garage, I got the idea, instead of working garage, why don't I find some spot? That's what made me happen to open 500 square feet shop in Shoptown. Right at the corner, that's where I met Paul.
What do you remember from the first time you met Paul?
It's very cool and nice. I don't remember real well how we could connect back, but I remember that Paul was a DJ. He wasn't a rapper yet. He was a DJ in the club, and he wanted to get some order done. And back then, so I say, okay, good, connect together, and then we can. He say he a DJ. He can help me to promote in the club, because. So when I was in Shoptown, I went out to promote in the club a lot, like pass out a flyer. So I say that's a good idea. Since Paul was a DJ in the club, he could help me to promote. I say okay, so I can, you know, show you how to do the mold for the grill. We can work together. And the second best thing is somehow I communicate with Paul well, but I could not speak English well to the customer. So Paul kind of translation, you know what I'm saying? Especially with rappers, you know. When Paul being so popular in rapper, he was on a tour. I went with him. He connect me with like Kanye West, Diddy, and T.I. or David Banner, all the rapper. But he kind of like translation with me, between me and them. I could not speak that well, you know.
Sure.
That's crazy. So and then we have a real well relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how did you even think of grills in the first place? Had they been done at all? Did you have any inspiration from anything?
Not really. It's kind of During my career, I create a couple very good things. Like when I was in flea market, I created a nameplate for the customer. Like a lot of Spanish customers, they wear a lot of nameplates. So I'm real popular like do on nameplate. So when I went to Shoptown, I did the diamond for the dentist. The dentist, they do the gold crown. And then they just saw this, most of the grill been outside in the world for so many years, hundreds and thousands of years. People used to do the gold crown. Sure. So the one day the dentist they make the customer crown. So she want me to put that one diamond on the top of it for the customer. So that's how I started. I say, wow, that's good. But the reason one diamond because it costs expensive for the grill and one diamond. So I was thinking why should I do the crown and the diamond together? You know, it's much cheaper for the customers. So since from one diamond, I create kind of different kind of set during the work. So since I did for par, but the dentist, they do permanent, you know? So I'm thinking like not a lot of people want to do permanent like me. I got different grill. I don't want to do permanent grill in there. So I'm just come out with the idea to take in and out the grill. That's called pull out. So since I do pull out, I can do more than one, like 6 top, 6 bottom, 8 top, 8 bottom, you know? So that's how I started. So from then, I would instead of one diamond, I would a whole tube with a diamond. That make it popular.
Wow.
And
wow.
then I create like channel set, prong set, kind of create all kind of setting of the diamond to make the diamond look real nice. So when I introduce with the wrappers, so they look so bling on the stage, that make it so popular.
Wow. And would you say that when Paul came out with that song, when he came out with Grills, was that when your career really took off? Yes, I'm saying that we did very well right before that already, because the moment already popular, Nelly really catch the right time. Right at moment, grill started booming. But of course, when Nelly and Paul came out with a grill song, I make about like 450 grill a day. That's crazy. We work like 20 hour, 22 hour, 18 hour minimum a day. Because they blow up so fast, I couldn't have enough, employees. And originally I got 500 square feet space. And then I ran a spot right next to the shop town, about 2,000 square feet space to do manufactures. Yeah. Okay. And then when the grill blown up, I had to rent bigger space. Fast. And tell me about some of those names that you got orders from when grills just became so popular. David Banner, of course, Kanye West. When I did the grill for he wear the grill until now, I didn't know who Kanye West was, you know. Paul say, okay, I have a rapper Kanye West. He was in the studio tonight. He want to get a grill, so that's most of the time. And Paul said, okay, good, let's go make a grill. So when I met him, I really didn't know who Kanye was. Like, I just know the rappers. Him and David Banner, Juicy J, because back then the Juicy Mafias, Little John's. Little John have a grill until now. I'm doing another one for him now. For so many years, he got so many different grill. And P Daddy, those the name that I met beginners, you know. Wow. You would make it like this someday. We heard a lot about American dream. You know, every time in Vietnam we heard about American dream, but we couldn't imagine how I could be from, very poor kid in college in Vietnam and become a popular jeweler in America. It's really a dream come true, you know what I'm saying? It's really. I'm so happy that not only me, honestly, in Asian or Vietnamese community, we are very blessed to be here in America, and a lot of families
are very success here because we have a opportunity to work. You know, it's a lot of my friends in Vietnam. They not like lazy. They much more talented than me. They much work harder than me. But it's just like no opportunity. You know, in Americans we have like I can say like open door opportunity. You get like no limiting. That's why not only me, I'm so proud of a lot of Vietnamese in my community. A lot of my friends in here, they are very success. They're like big time lawyer. A lot of my friends, they like super do very well in business in the nail shop. They got some of them got like 40 store, 50 store. I know one guy, we hang out together, had like 100 nail shop, you know. So I say, man, you're gonna be able to do that in Vietnam or somewhere else. So this is really American, American dream. You know, that's it.
Thank you, Johnny. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, see you later. See you. We'll see you over there.
All right.
I'm Zach Tawatari. He's the creator of grills and built a jewelry empire. But this Houston icon's American dream started in Vietnam. We share with you the inspiring story. This one-on-one with the one and only Johnny Dang.